made the writer in Nomadland, and songs my brothers taught me, I went into the world that's not my own. There's actually a deep, deep collaboration between me and the characters in the world and the people that operated that space. I could not have just made a film based on my vision. So much of the film is a shared vision. It's the same when I entered the MCU. It's a shared vision, and it is that way because that's how I love to make films. It's a collaboration. Well, the film is set immediately after half of the population returned to Earth. For me, that is a big ecological event. And it's great to be able to have a story that's set in that time and the impact that it had on our planet. So with that locked in, and also knowing we're going to be exploring the origin of the MCU, and knowing that it's going to have repercussions for the future, I was very much encouraged to make a standalone film in the middle, and not rely on Nick Fury to show up, which, even though I really wanted to, but they said, no, Chloe, let's focus on these new characters, new stories. I don't know how to do things any other way, but to do things from my gut. You know, every decision I make, my relationship with the people I work with, my relationship with the cast, my relationship with the camera, it's always something I have to feel. If I can't feel it, I can't even get up in the morning, I'm not going to show up. So fundamentally, it doesn't feel different because it comes from the exact same place as I made my previous films. Marvel Studios, to the surprise to many people, is very different than a lot of traditional studios in Hollywood. There are very few of them actually are in charge. There's 3 people. And I often only talk to 2 of them to make all the decisions. And so they've really created a bubble for me to exist safely. And they will catch me if I fall, but they let me fly, you know, when I feel safe. It's very important to sort of look at the heart and the soul of it. And I try to ask myself, why did Jack Kirby created the Eternals? And I felt like at that time he had a desire to take a step aside from the popular narrative in order to gain a new perspective of the genre of storytelling. And it's perfect timing that after the Infinity Saga that we're able to take a step aside from the MCU and just see how we can deconstruct some of the principles, foundations that this whole genre is born out of. It's very exciting. If I'm being completely honest, I only watched 3-4 Westerns before I made The Rider. And then I started, and then people say I am working in the Western genre, so I started doing my homework because I didn't grow up with them. And then I really fall in love. You know, lately it's the first time I've seen like My Darling Clementine and Red River and these movies. My mind is blown. You know, I have so many more to discover. However, the reason why the Western genre was born, I think it comes out of our curiosity as a species about what's beyond the horizon. There's both anxiety, curiosity, and fear and passion towards what's just beyond that horizon. Let's discover it. You know, so as a result, that genre is born. And I find that today in the superhero genre and the sci-fi genre, almost like we've explored everywhere on the planet. So we start to ask, what's above in the sky? You know, what's our relationship with technology? What's the point of human existence? And in the case of Avatar, I'm excited. It's about what's in the depths of the ocean, right? And so I find myself drawn to genres that explore, that come out of this collective anxiety we have about as humanity. And because in order to, when I make films within those genres, it actually helps me to deal with my daily anxiety of where we go from here. the first question, I appreciate you asked that because manga is such a big part of my life. And there are two things. One is tonally. If you know manga, you know that we take ourselves very seriously. Meanwhile, something ridiculous will happen and some really out of this world humor, and now interweave together. Tonal consistency doesn't exist in manga. And I think that I may have carried that a little bit with me in my filmmaking. And also the action, I'm sure you can see reference from Yu Yu Hakusho and Dragon Ball Z. And also think about Sailor Moon and Zodiac Knight, and we're talking about a team. And they share similarities in their costumes, but each have their different colors. It's very hard to do a live action, and if you're true manga lovers, you know it's almost impossible to get it right. It's gotta be Yu Yu Hakusho. Yu Yu Hakusho changed my life, and they are doing a live action. I found out Netflix, I was like, me, but then they're already doing it with someone else. And it's all set in Japan. So to do a live action manga, but make it international is quite difficult. Now, Trigon, I don't want to throw a message out there. I love Trigon. And I think Trigon may be a chance to do it more internationally. But still, you don't touch classics like that. It's very dangerous. I don't feel responsible for that, Yeah. So we'll see. I think the idea of personal sort of determination, I actually find a lot of my films have individuals who really want to be the master of their destiny. However, their tools of doing that is taken away, whether it's their family in Nomadland, their town, or in the writer, the ability to write, and in the time of Eternals, their faith and their sense of self. I think I put them through that because I personally believe that we cannot survive on our own. That it's actually quite important to have a connection with something bigger. Because I was not raised religious, I'm not a religious person, but I find that something's lacking inside of me by not believing in God. So I'm trying to build a relationship with nature, and I'm trying to understand why I exist in the universe, what's the purpose of my existence. So I think my characters are always struggle with that balance, a sense of self and versus a connectivity to something bigger. Moments like that in life, I always think about my idol, Bob Dylan, and who famously said, he not busy being born, is busy dying. And I will always look for projects that allow me to be reborn over and over, that I can come into that project completely naked and have to relearn everything. I had to grow and terrified. I need that feeling, otherwise I don't know how to create, So right now, my next project is with Universal, Dracula. And so we'll see. I feel like I'm pretty naked going to that one, so we'll see.
Merci pour ce repas.
Oh, y a pas de quoi.
Maintenant que Capitaine America et Iron Man sont plus là, qui va diriger les Avengers?
Moi, je pourrais.